there's Langley Station. He's coming into Langley.
Welcome to chillTV and the Rail Choice, community transit for south of the Fraser. This is the final segment of a four-part series where we've been taking a look at transit options, the future of transit, and the future of Highway 1 when it comes to commuting throughout the entire Fraser Valley. We've been joined and continue to be joined by Rick Green, the former mayor of the Township of Langley, former director of Metro Vancouver, former alderman of the city of Delta, most importantly, former member of the TransLink Mayor's Council and the president of South Fraser Community Rail Society. Rick, a lot of bumps in the road. We've discussed the challenges, but there's a lot of good things that are on the horizon.
There certainly are, Don, and I'd like to just go back to 2010 when we had Shaw Cable produce a half-hour documentary, and it's all about educating the public in terms of what we have available to us, because most people really don't know. And quite frankly, it was in educating the government and government services in terms of what is available, because a lot of them didn't know. But since that time, since 2010, we've been very, very active in terms of community development and community ideas, presentations, and what have you. Over the last number of years, we've made probably 500 presentations to community groups, service clubs, and what have you. In 2017, March of 2017, we presented this proposal to then candidate John Horgan when he was running for Premier. We had about a 2-hour presentation to him. We presented the documentary, presented our maps and everything else. He loved the idea. And if you go beyond that, we have entered into a lot of communication with the TransLink Mayor's Council, the TransLink Board of Directors. But one thing that is that really comes to light when you get involved in this and dealing with government agencies is there is no government agency that is looking at and responsible for inter-regional transit. We, unfortunately, in our region, we have the Metro Vancouver, we have the Fraser Valley Regional District, one serviced by TransLink, one serviced by BC Transit. The problem there is they really don't have any responsibility beyond their borders. So interregional transit gets forgotten about. If you take a look at the growth of populations from, I would say probably even 2008, it's exponentially larger than we had ever anticipated. So with that, obviously, with the growth of the price of homes in the Metro Vancouver area, people wanting to move out to the valley, people wanting to move out to smaller communities. It has just absolutely impacted our traffic on Highway 1. And what we're hearing and seeing from the Fraser Valley Regional District and others is that Highway 1 expansion and widening is really the be-all and end-all, and that's going to be the answer to our problems. Well, the exact opposite is true. We're not against widening Highway 1 in any way, shape, or form, but that's not going to happen, and we've covered that in a previous episode. That's really not going to happen until 2051 if everything worked out. Well, that's 31 years from now, and that's just to add one lane each way. The express bus is not the answer. The express bus gets caught up in the same congestion we're all complaining about. We have available to us a priceless opportunity with the interurban corridor and reactivating the interurban corridor, pardon me. And if you take a look at the reasons why, it was really the advent of hydrogen rail, the hydrogen fuel cell. That is Canadian technology. It's being used in an active way, paid operation in Germany. It's being implemented in Holland and the United Kingdom. So there's so many things that are happening that is really, its time has come. One of the things that we have done in the last couple of years, we've, on our own initiative, conducted 3 public engagement sessions, one in Surrey, one in Langley, and one in Abbotsford. We had one scheduled in Chilliwack. We have a group in Chilliwack still wanting to hold it, but with the advent of COVID-19, we haven't been able to, but that will be coming, and we're really looking forward to it. So beyond that, we've really gained the attention of the provincial government in February of this year in the budget and the preceding, the budget and then the throne speech. They announced the implementation of a provincial study on transportation and housing for the south of the Fraser, in the Fraser Valley. And this is something that we have been advocating for at least 4 years. We're thrilled that they're doing it. So we're in the process now of really ramping up the campaign, and we're looking for the help of the community.
One thing we had mentioned, we've keyed on Premier Horgan, but also former Green Party leader Andrew Weaver and the Green Party themselves are in favor, seem to be in favor of all of this because of the green technology.
They are, Don. We had the opportunity, and we sort of approached them about a year and a half ago, and we went over to Victoria and made a presentation to the Andrew Weaver and his Green Party caucus at the time. They loved the idea, and we weren't 2 minutes into our video and our presentation when he said, like, why aren't we doing this? This is a no-brainer, because it really meets all of their needs in terms of green technology, environmentally friendly technology, and quite the other interesting sidelight to this is the NDP signature legislation of Clean BC. They have dictated the terms of what they want to see developed in the province of BC as far as clean technology, and this fits all of that technology and that legislation.
Earlier in this series, we spoke with former Premier and former Surrey Mayor Bill Vander, who is part of this with the South Fraser Community Rail Society. Very passionate, just like Rick Green is, and Bill has a few parting words. Bill Vander, former Premier of the province of British Columbia, former Mayor of Surrey, someone who was very involved with SkyTrain when it first came up. Here we are with south of the Fraser with community rail, and we're talking about this and how important it really is. And we were mentioning off the air about this is the time where the money has to come in to push this thing forward. And I guess we're getting volunteers on board as well.
We need lots of volunteers. We need to get the message out to people throughout the valley. The pressure has to be put on the politicians at the local level, at the regional level, at the provincial level, even federally. They've all got to get involved. This is the future of the valley that we're talking about here. This is not for just a while, it's forever. It'll be there, it'll shape and plan the valley properly.
Are we in crisis mode when it comes to not only the growth, especially in Surrey, because they're now in the process of becoming a bigger city than Vancouver proper, but with the transit issues, are we in crisis mode?
Well, you know what? What's being proposed is largely a response to what was a political issue in the last election. Politics, from that standpoint, has got to get out of it and keep out of it. I think the people have to speak out. But for Surrey, using the existing rail, which goes through the whole of Kennedy, Sullivan, Cloverdale, through most of Surrey, is probably a better choice than a SkyTrain for 7 kilometers that's going to cost an arm and a leg more than what we're proposing and won't serve near as many people.
And serving the people, of course, we have this economy that from Surrey all the way to Hope, literally, does not have to cross the Port Mann Bridge. It is an economy in itself.
It is. It's an economy all its own, and we can help the economy be far more secure and be better planned than what it is just going ahead without this.
And making the plea for the volunteers to step up?
We want volunteers. We want people to contribute a little bit because we have volunteers working on this now. We're all volunteers. And there are certain costs that need to be considered and taken care of. So we all contribute a little bit. That helps. It works.
Bill Vander, Zalm, as always, a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure.
That's Bill Vander, Zalm, the former Premier of the province of British Columbia and former Surrey Mayor. Back to Rick Green. In summation, I guess you're still going to need a lot of help from the public and a lot of reaching out. What do we need to do now?
Well, we're already at that stage now because we've brought this a long way, but we need the help from the public to recognize the value of what it is we're striving for, and to make their impact on this provincial study that's that is underway as we speak. So we're going to be, as a society, we're going to make a presentation, a very, very comprehensive, detailed presentation in terms of why we see this as as a significant part of the solution, not the total solution, but a significant solution, part of the solution for transit in the Fraser Valley. But if you take a look at the press release from the provincial government, they're going to hear from BC Transit, they're going to hear from TransLink, they're going to hear from the regional districts and all municipalities. But one thing that was stressed to me, they're also going to be reaching out to the public. So they want public input. And through that, will operate as a facilitator for that information to go through to the study, to be incorporated into the study. So anybody that has anything to add in terms of their particular needs and wants and complaints that they might have, or ideas and solutions that they might have, you can go into our website, www.southfrasercommunityrail.ca. We will have a program on that website which you can fill out and submit to us. We'll incorporate it into the study, but also take a look at opportunities that we think are going to avail themselves, with the provincial government and this study. And we're hoping that we can provide forums for the public to attend, to make presentations with ideas to support the study and the need for solid transit south of the Fraser, and something that is going to improve our quality of life, and quite frankly, the Fraser Valley airshed and all of the environmental issues that we're faced with. So if you go into our website, we have an opportunity to sign a petition, to donate both corporately and privately, to volunteer for any one of a number of positions, and really you're talking about leadership positions, but also support positions in terms of community involvement, public engagement, and what have you. So this is coming down to the crunch, and this is going to be so incredibly important that we involve the community.
And again, southfrasercommunityrail.ca. Rick Green, big thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. I learned a lot. Hopefully, viewers learned quite a bit too with the rail choice. Community transit south of the Fraser. I'm Don Lane, chillTV News.